Welcome to Tackle Talk Live, dedicated to making you a better fisherman. Proudly brought to you by our sponsors: The Boat Shop, 3J's Fourway, Pride Rods, Keith's Toledo Bend Tackle, The Lakes Insurance Agency, Lone Star Bass Trail, V&M Baits. Now on to your hosts, Ranger Daiwa Pro Staff Steve Graff and V&M Baits President Kevin Jean.
Welcome to Tackle Talk Live. I'm Ranger Daiwa Pro Staffer Steve Graff, along with the V&M President Kevin Jean, and we are live right here in Natchitoches, Louisiana, on the shores of Sibley Lake. And Kevin, we got a really good show lined up for today. We got the Triple T winners.
We do from day 2. So Texas Team Trail was on Sam Rayburn on Friday for their day 1 event, or number 1 event. And then on Saturday, a completely separate event, number 2 event that was canceled from earlier in the spring, Steve. So I'm very surprised. The weights were down a little bit. I know on Saturday it only took 12 pounds to get a check. There was one 20-pound stringer weighed in, and we got those guys on. Matthew McArdle is going to be on with us today to talk about their win, how they pulled it off. Also going to dive into the Sealy Outdoors event coming up on Toledo Bend this coming week. Very excited about this event, Steve. I think Toledo Bend setting up right. I think it's finally going to show out.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. Even the results we've seen the last 2 or 3 weeks have been fairly impressive, especially whether it's been the Oilman's tournament or whether it's been the top 6. Both tournaments have had good turnouts and have had some really good weights weighed in. I think one term we saw the top 10 averaged about a 4-pound fish. Yeah. So, but anyway, we've got that. We've got some upcoming events. We'll tell you what those 2 are coming up. I know there's 2 in our area coming up on Rayburn. We'll make sure we let you know what those are. And as Kevin touched on, Sealy, always we'll talk Sealy. We got a lot going on there. If you ever fished a Bob Sealy event, you're really missing out. Yes, it can be a little crowded, can be a lot of people there, but if you can get past that,
and we're going to jump into that, Steve.
Yeah, we're going to
kind of talk about that, how to maybe approach it. You have to fish the Sealy event different than a regular bass tournament. It's crowded. There's people everywhere. We're going to kind of jump into that, talk about that a little bit from our past experiences. Kind of dive into Toledo, how it's fishing, kind of think how it's setting up. It can be one shallow, it can be one deep. Toledo, you can go shallow. Water's high right now. You can go out deep. They're generating. Some of the fish are kind of pulling out. So you kind of can go fish how you want to fish your strength, and catch them this coming week on Toledo.
Yeah, and we'll give you some lake level reports, exactly what's going on with the lakes. Both Rayburn and Toledo should be on the rise with all the rain we've had the last 24 hours. And so both lakes should be in great shape for this weekend. And really for the next 2 or 3 weeks, they should both be in great shape. So without any further ado, let's move on into our sponsors. And we want to welcome our newest sponsor, Toledo Health.
Toledo Health is located on Highway 6 near Toledo Town, a full-service primary care and acute care clinic. Nurse practitioners Jarrett Rule and Melissa Vines bring quality health care that's convenient to the area. Appointments available and walk-ins are always welcome. They treat it all from fish hook removal to chronic conditions. Give them a call at 318-508-5323. It's located at 11340 Texas Highway Manny. So, Steve, it's going to be east of Toledo Town, coming back towards Manny. Come through the four-way stop, back towards Manny. Quarter of a mile, can't miss it.
You can actually see it from the light. You can see it from the light.
You can. For the Sealy this weekend, just need to stop in, hook removal, anything you need done. Go by and tell the guys that Tackle Talk Live sent you.
Yeah. Also, coming up, I think you've got one more tournament left, their championship event on the Lone Star Bass Trail. It's their open series of events. There was 4 tournaments, January, February, March, and May. May 23rd is their championship coming up, $5,000 on the line. 5-fish limit, great team circuit, $150 entry fee. If you're looking for something else to fish and looking to get started into tournament bass fishing, this would be a great way to get going with it and to get started. So check it out. I also got a fall series coming up on Toledo Bend. This one here, the one they're presently doing, is on Sam Rayburn. Mm-hmm. So Toledo Bend will be coming up. First tournament September the 12th. And again, as we get closer to that date, we'll give you more details about that. So check it out, Lone Star Bass Trail.
And the boat shop. Mr. Raymond Kidd and his staff take great pride in keeping your boat and motor performing at its best. A certified Yamaha dealer and full support Garmin dealer, offering the best in electronics and the new Garmin trolling motor. Stop by 2410 Sanford Avenue in Shreveport and let the boat shop take care of all your boating needs. Give them a call at 318-402-0399 or go to ShreveportBoatShop.com. And also to add to that, Steve, a Sea Arc boat dealer and now a Camus
dealer.
Boat dealer. So you can go check those out for either one of those boats as well.
Yeah, and again, there's nobody that does it better than Raymond Kidd over there. When it comes to service, especially Yamaha, he is a Yamaha genius. If you got a Yamaha outboard, he can take care of any problem you've got, I can assure you. They got the new Garmin trolling motor, a Garmin electronics dealer. They just do a great job there, and they will take care of any needs you've got. But check out the new Garmin trolling motor as well while you're there. And again, you've got 2 Camus on the ground as we speak at the boat shop. So, and I actually looked at one of them the other day. Very impressed with the Camus boat line. So something you might want to check out. If you're in the market for a boat, you might want to check those out. All right, on the phone with us, we have, let's see here, Matthew McArdle. Matthew, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Good. Matthew was one of the part of the winning team on the Triple T Tour with 24.45 pounds and
20.45
pounds.
Don't give him more than he will take it and run it. Yeah, he will take it and run with it, Steve.
Yeah, let's.
We weren't quite that good.
That's okay. Hey, that's still a good bag. I'll take that any day of the week. So, Matthew, tell us what you did, how you did it, and all the details.
Break down Saturday for us, Matthew. You guys are the only one. Now, again, so there was an event on Friday. Did you guys fish on Friday? Event number 1.
We did fish on Friday.
Okay, rough Friday, I'm assuming, because I didn't see you here in the check column. What did you guys weigh in on Friday?
We didn't weigh in anything.
Okay.
We had a small limit for maybe 8 pounds. My partner Josh Bensema was on some fish for the Toyota Series. We got a decent boat number, we thought. We were boat 47 on the first day. On Friday, ended up being the 3rd boat pulling up on that spot. It didn't appear that anybody actually caught him on that spot. We graphed over that spot later in the day, and we could see the fish there. And Josh ended up hooking one about 6 pounds on a crankbait that came off. And that was the only good bite we had there all day. Ended up with maybe a limit for 8 pounds, so we didn't even bother going to weigh in on Friday.
So going into Saturday, you guys had 20 pounds, 45 ounces. The only 20-pound stringer weighed in on Saturday. What, did we change up? Did we change things up? Did y'all get back on that spot on Saturday and catch them? Kind of give us a breakdown how Saturday went.
We definitely went back to that spot just because we knew what could happen there. If we could get that spool to fire, we could catch 25 to 30 pounds in a heartbeat. But unfortunately, we went there and messed around for 3 or 4 hours around that area, graphed over that spot a couple times, and that school just never showed up. So about 1 o'clock, we were just wanting to salvage the day and try to cut a $700 check to pay for our entry fees for the weekend. So Josh asked me if I had any ideas, and I told him I had one magic bush that I thought we could, catch a couple 3-pounders out of and maybe get lucky and stumble across another 3 or 4 pounder somewhere else on that end of the lake and cut a check. So about 1 o'clock, we made a 30-minute run to the complete opposite end of the lake, pulled up to that bush, and I was throwing a Santone swim jig with a Rage Menace on it, and first cast up there, I catch a 5-pounder, and I was like, man, that bush worked out good. Now we just got to fill our limit somewhere. And I cast it back up there again and missed one, and then they kind of shut down, so we went down the shoreline a little ways, came back, and he skipped a Buckeye jig in there and catches a 4-pounder. And so we're like, man, that's way more than we thought we were going to catch off that bush. So we left and tried to make a couple more small calls. We caught a couple 2.5 pounders here and there, and decided to go back to that bush with about 15 minutes left in the day. And as soon as we get there, I skip my swim jig in there. First cast, catch a 5-pounder. Josh nets it, and the hook falls out as soon as he gets it in the net. So he's back there working on culling. I retie. I skip my swim jig back in there again, and as soon as I give it one pop, 4-pounder eats it.
Yeah.
And he jumps up and nets that one. And so he gets done culling those. I told him to skip his jig in there because it's something different. They had seen my jig for 10 or 15 casts in there at that point. I told him to skip his in there again. He skipped his in there and caught one about 2 3/4. That was our last cull of the day. So every fish we had came off of one cast next to this one bush.
How big is this bush?
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of the large hackberry bushes out there.
I mean, big as the hood of your truck, maybe. I mean, something like that.
Yeah, I'd say the base of it's about as big as the hood of the truck.
Yeah. I mean, that's gotta be pretty good size to hold those kind of fish.
My Lord. I mean,
Yes.
I hear about that happening out deep, and you hear about catching a couple big ones. A couple weeks ago, we had I forget who we had on, but he caught two big ones on a bush, like a 9 and 8. But catching 5 off of one bush, that is very unheard of.
Well, and two, y'all just dispelled what I have been told by some top-notch anglers over there. You can't win on the bank in the bushes at Rayburn, and
And that's what we've always told ourselves. Josh is a phenomenal deep fisherman. And obviously that's how 90% of the tournaments are won out there. So, I mean, on these tournaments where we get to practice a little bit, he goes out there and does his thing out deep, and he tries to look for something that we can win on out deep. And I'm a shallow guy, so I usually just stick around the bushes and around the bank, and I'll find some fish that I know we can cut a check on. And it just worked out with the water conditions coming up like they were. A lot of stuff was washed out. There's water way back in the bushes. The wind was blowing 30 miles an hour, and it just made the conditions extremely tough for the deep fishing guys.
Right.
And so it worked out for us, able to just bust a 20-pound bag up shallow and be the best bag on the water that day.
How deep of water was that bush in?
It's right on a creek channel.
Gotcha.
So I mean, it's probably 6 foot on one side, maybe 2 foot on the back side.
Well, the lake is up 3.45 feet, so I mean, I can see where what you're saying. The front side of the bush may be in 6, and the back side in 2 or 3. So that bush is probably right on the edge of the water line when the water's normal. Then.
Yes, sir.
Oh.
So, Matt, practice. I mean, I know y'all got Thursday to practice. And Rayburn's fishing a little tough right now. Those fish are hard post spawn over there. But I know the conditions tournament-wise were not good Friday and Saturday. Saturday, especially with the wind. How did practice go on Thursday?
So, practice went well for Josh. He went and checked a couple of his deep spots that he had been on for the Toyota Series. Caught one about 5.5 on one spot, and they started schooling there. He pulled up to another spot, threw his crankbait out there, caught one about 6, and when he did that, a couple other ones about 5 or 6 pounds came up chasing a gizzard shad. So I mean, practice went great for him. I stayed around the canyons area where he was, just to look for some shallow fish over there. That way we didn't have to run all the way back around the lake towards Buck Bay area. And so my practice was not good at all. I don't fish that into the lake. I was just trying to stumble across something shallow, throwing a frog or a swim jig. I caught a few small keepers, but nothing to write home about.
Yeah.
So going into it, our plan A was to sit on his deep schools and get them fired up and just catch some good ones. So practice went great, but it didn't pan out in the tournament like we wanted it to. We thought we had a pretty good chance of winning one of the 2 tournaments, but not in a million years thought we would have won it how we did.
Matt, both days, so there was a 20-pound sack weighed in on day 1. Tommy Hill, Bubba Frazier won that with 22.91. You guys had the 20-pound sack on day 2. just give me your thought on Rayburn. Are we just in that hard post-spawn phase right now, or just the conditions we're having on weekends? Because this is two weekends in a row now, Steve.
2 weeks.
It's been
just a little over 20 pounds.
Barely 20 pounds. Wins it 120-pound sack. I mean, where are we at on Sam Rayburn here, and how much longer do you see before these offshore fish really start feeding out there?
So there's quite a few schools of 2 to 3 pounders that we have found offshore. And it's funny, some of those fish are actually still pre-spawn out there.
Oh, wow.
I've been keeping a few spotted bass out there. They're pre-spawners. And there's some largemouth mixed in there that appear to be pre-spawners as well. And I actually had a buddy that caught a couple off of a bed Friday during the tournament.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's still a few spawning. There's still another wave that's looking to move up, because I don't think the water temperatures have gotten as high as they usually are at this point of the year. So there's still a small wave waiting to move up. The majority of them have spawned, though, and it's just, I think the fish are in a weird transition. They went to come out, but then the water came up 3 feet, and there's just a lot of them up shallow. And they're hard to get to.
The way the
but
water.
If you find that one spot that they want to sit, some perch beds or a hard spot or something like that up shallow, they'll really get on it.
Well, a guy that's a friend of mine has told me, when the lake comes up really hard, fish the original grass line, the original shoreline, because they don't pull up hard on Rayburn with the fish. But if it's a slow rise, he said they will pull up. And evidently it's been a steady rise over the last, week at Rayburn. And so it has been a slow rise. But again, water level will dictate everything over there over the next 2 weeks. As we got more rain coming. If the lake stays up that 2.5, 3 feet above pool, a lot of them fish could continue to stay shallow.
Absolutely. It was like this a few years ago, or I think 2 years ago, it came up pretty high as well. And once it stabilized at that high level, the fishing really turned on. Got really good in the bushes, but with it coming up, those fish just keep moving.
Yeah.
Once it stabilizes, it gets a lot better from the fisherman's standpoint. And then once it starts falling, of course, those fish will pull out, and that deep bite will get better and better. But hopefully, I'm hoping this rain, brings the lake up a little bit more and just helps it stabilize kind of at the level it's at, or maybe 6 inches to a foot higher. Just for my strengths.
Yeah, I can definitely see that happen. With the rain we got last night and the rain we got coming tomorrow, I definitely can see that happening without a doubt. So, well, Matthew, man, congratulations.
Yeah.
Good payday for you guys, for you and John both. And I know y'all will definitely be hearing from you guys some more, man. But congratulations on a great weekend.
Absolutely. And if anybody listening is looking for a boat, we have a boat certificate we're looking to get rid of. You can message me or Josh Bensema on Instagram or Facebook.
Hey, that's a great way to get a new boat.
Will do, Matthew. Appreciate it, man.
All right.
All right, yes, sir. Y'all have a good one.
There you go, Matthew McArdle, and heard direct from him, one of the anglers on the winning team.
One bush.
20 pounds.
One bush.
But they don't. I dream about that. But and again, Kevin, I mean, you've talked about this on this program where guys have told me, Toledo Bend, you can go do that, Toledo Bend. You can catch them out of the bushes. You can win a tournament. But Rayburn, it just don't happen. Well, he said a key factor there. The wind blew them off the lake on the day Saturday. They were in the bushes.
Yeah, so. And it's hard. I mean, Steve, it's hard to find a bush like that.
Oh,
I mean,
dude,
that's a whole different. And the water's high enough right now. But like he said, these post spawners are just now starting to get out there. The big ones haven't grouped up. It is the perfect time to win one shallow. And I can tell you this: on Friday, Tommy Hill and Bubba Frazier, I would be willing to bet a lot of money, knowing those two anglers like I do. It was caught shallow as well.
Yeah.
You know, so only taking 20 pounds to win these tournaments, you can go catch that in the bushes. You can right now.
And that ain't the only bush that's holding fish on Rayburn.
No.
There's more bushes out. You got to find the right one. And here's the mistake a lot of anglers make. They catch a good fish out of one and they go to the next one. They don't keep throwing in there.
Or come back to it like that.
Or come back to it, yeah. And so when you catch a big fish, especially this time of year out of a bush, don't be afraid to go back and hit it again. And especially if it's during the spawning time of year, you might catch the male the first time, catch the female the second time, or vice versa.
So Steve, we'll go over the results here. So this is Friday, event number 1. Again, Tommy Hill, Bubba Frazier, first place with 22.91. That was the biggest stringer for the weekend. Second place, Jason Moorhead. Ty Moorhead was 18.89. Second place.
Yeah.
Third place, John Little, Daniel Shellman, 18.25. Fourth place, Chris Wilson and Brandon Flowers had 18.18, and then a 17-pound sack from there. Let's see here. 33rd place got the last check on Friday with 12 pounds, 76 ounces on Friday.
Wow.
Saturday, again, John Benson and Matthew McArdle wins it with 20.45. Chris Wilson and Brandon Flowers got second on day 2. They were fourth on day 1. Second on day 2. We've had Chris in on the show here.
Yeah.
They had 19.49, so they won a little over $10,000 between Friday and Saturday. Third place, Mike Griffin, Larry Tidwell had 19.44. Fourth place, TJ Goodwin and Philip Krilia had 19.26. And fifth place was William Imoff and Shane London, 18.81. And then going all the way down again to 33rd place, the last check was 12 pounds and 12.49.
And real quick, also, Bassmaster Live is actually airing right now as we speak. The Bass Track Leaderboard, they're on Lake Neely Henry over there in Alabama. It's a Whataburger tournament. Leading right now was Wes Logan with 56.8. Paul Mueller's in second with 55.6. So less than a pound between those two. And then Gerald Swindle is about 3 pounds back with 53, a little less than 3 pounds, 53.13.
And that's going off Bass Track.
That's going off Bass Track. Not official, but again, it's usually pretty accurate. So, but anyway, Swindle needs a big one to be his first BASS Elite Series win if he can pull it off. And so a lot of people pulling for Gerald today. And but you can check it out, Bassmaster. Go to Bassmaster.com, Bassmaster Live. It's a great. They do a wonderful job with covering these events. So,
Steve, we got about 4 more sponsors we got to go over here. And I'll start it off with Pride Rods. It's custom rods built in Montgomery, Texas. The finest rods ever made by Mr. Billy Kistler, constructed with the finest North Fork composite blank by Gary Loomis. They carry a complete line of spinning and casting rods for both freshwater and saltwater applications. Pride Rods pass not only the eye test, but performance as well. Ask your local tackle dealer if they carry Pride Rods and pick one up and try it for yourself. To learn more, go to priderods.com or give them a call at 832-418-6040.
Also, 3J's Fourway and Cypress Knee Outdoors. One store within another store. Cypress Knee is located inside 3J's Fourway. Great place for lunch. Awesome deli. Best fried chicken in the South. You just want to know the truth. 3J Fourways also offers gas, food, ice. But Cypress Knee Indoors is located inside the store. Got a great selection of hunting and fishing gear. Products from Santone, Strike King, Spro, Gamakatsu, and, of course, the #1 soft plastic, V&M. Got all a good supply of all that. Hunting supplies from Primo, guns from Winchester, Remington, and Mossberg, along with a great selection of ammunition. And so stop in. Say hello to John Abraham and his great staff at Cypress Knee Outdoors, located at 1 mile east off I-49, exit 127. It's just east of 120 Highway I-49. Give them a call at 318-238-HUNT, H-U-N-T.
The Lakes Insurance Agency is an independent insurance agency that has been taking care of Texans' insurance needs for 25-plus years, offering auto, homeowners, boat, recreational vehicle, life, health, and commercial insurance. The owner, Clark Moore, is a local guide and tournament angler who understands your insurance needs as a boat owner and wants to be your go-to guy for insurance. Give him a call for a free quote, or you can drop by the agency located at 805 Southeast Stalling, Suite 3 in Nacogdoches. Give them a call at 936-205-4467.
And with both Toledo Bend and Sam Rayburn being, the lakes are both up. They're either above pool or some of them, Rayburn's 3 feet above pool, 3+ over a pool. On your way over there, stop in at Keith's Toledo Bend Tackle and let Keith and them give you some direction as to how, what, when, and where you need to be fishing. And they got a great selection of tackle in there, top name brands. I also got former Elite Series Pro Ben Matsubu, works in the store there. Ben's constantly on the water, give you up-to-date information, not talk or information that's 2 weeks old. It's going to be from the day before, if not the day of. So check it out. Keith Neighbors, also a big fisherman in there. Keith's the owner of the store. They've got all the information you need. They got all the bait and tackle you need. Pick up your ice while you're there. Again, located on Highway 21 on the west side of Toledo Bend. As you cross Pendleton Bridge, it's on your left just before you get to Carice Creek. And so you can't miss it. Looking forward to seeing you there, and also tell them Tackle Talk Live sent you.
All right, and so this weekend, coming up on Toledo Bend, the Sealy Outdoors Big Bass Splash starts Friday. This week starts Friday. So the event will be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Steve, I'm really excited about this event for Toledo Bend. I really think the lake's going to show out. Now, yes, we are hard postponed. Yes, it's the middle of May, but with everything going on with the water coming up, with the generating schedule coming, everything happening, I think the fish are really starting to get after it over there. There's been some good sacks caught the last 2 weeks. Some really good fish caught, and we talked about the top 6 last weekend, the number of 9-pounders that was caught in that event. I definitely think it takes a double-digit fish to win this weekend for sure.
Yeah, you could be right. Also, too, with the lake on the rise, Toledo Bend is definitely going to be coming up. Again, we had a lot of rain last night and last 24 hours, more rain coming. So I look for Toledo Bend to be well into the bushes this weekend, and I look for some big pigs to be pulled up in them bushes. Somebody, like Kevin said, I believe is going to catch a double digit. It's maybe going to take a double digit to win this event. I think there's going to be several 8s and 9s weighed in for this tournament. Just the timing is right. The weather conditions are probably going to be right. And even as Matthew said in our last interview, still some spawners out there. I'm sure Toledo Bend's the same
does.
way.
You can go all the way down south and probably pick you off a couple off the bed.
Yeah.
That'll win you a check. Again, Steve, however you like to fish, you can go fish this weekend and cash a check. Like flipping bushes too. There's some hydrilla up north around Blue Lake. Go throwing a frog down the bank, throwing a topwater down the bank. The fish are pulling out hard on the points on the south end of the lake, just like we talked to Keelan Manuel. Top 6, that's how the top 6 was won.
Yeah.
We got 3rd in that event, setting 2nd after day 1. That's how our fish got caught. The majority of our fish got caught. I know my boat did anyway, for sure. So there will be a lot of fish caught on football jigs and big worms and 6XDs on the points coming out of the spawning pocket. So again, you can go catch a check fish however you want to on Toledo Bend right now. I really feel like it's playing out, and that's a good thing, Steve, because people have to spread out.
Right. And how important, Kevin, is it in this kind of event to tune into the radio station? They give constant updates on the hour as to where you're at, what's leading, what's in the last place, 15th place.
You've got to know. You've got to be paying attention, because you got to know around about what it's take to getting a check. A check.
Right.
You might have one of those 3.5, 4 pounders, and it might be taking a 4-pounder to get a check.
Right. And where are you on the lake?
And where you're at on the lake. Absolutely, that definitely plays a role. But it's all timing when you go weigh in. You really want to get there towards the later half of the hour, so you can decide: do I weigh in this hour?
Right.
Do I hold my fish to the next hour? So on and so forth.
It's a game, isn't it?
It really is. The game of weighing in and when to weigh in at the Sealy is you have to play that game. You have to play it well to get the most money out of it.
Yeah.
But the longer you stand there in line, the longer you're not fishing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I want to talk a little bit about mentally preparing yourself for the Sealy's event.
Yeah, because a lot of people, I know, I'm one of those people, I hate a big crowd, Kevin. I hate getting out there and I'm bumping boats with people, especially at takeoff, or I'm fishing a popular area and we're throwing over each other's lines. It just kind of reminds me of the movie Jaws, and everybody's going out to catch Jaws. It's just that's what in my head, that's the visual I have of this.
In my opinion, you have to approach the Sealy's different. It's not like a regular tournament where you have a game plan where you're going to execute it. You might have, in years past that I fished it, I might have one spot I want to start on, or might have a couple of spots I want to hit, but there's no guarantee when you get there, there's not 15 boats on that spot or in that area. You just can't get to it.
Yeah.
And I have done that in the past. I've been able to fish these events, and I've just mind blown, and I'm done the rest of the day because I have this rotation in my mind that I want to do. I want to hit this spot. And I want to hit this spot. Your chances of getting on those spots is very. I mean, there's no secrets on this lake anymore. Not spots.
Now,
there's not.
Is there? I guess there's an official time to start. You can launch anywhere, but there's an official time to start.
Official time, and they do it over the radio.
Okay, so you got to be tuned in. And my question is, how many of these guys maybe hired guides before this event?
A bunch. And I'm, the years past that I've helped Daryl Gleason guiding and even all my friends that are guides now, Justin Cooper and going down Cole Moore, they book up a bunch the week of
just for the ceiling.
Yes, guys.
Really?
Well, but Steve, you get people when they're paying out what Sealy is paying out. You get guys coming from all over.
Oh, all over the country.
Fish this
No,
time.
that's true.
They've never been to
is
Toledo
true.
Bend, or they come to Toledo Bend once a year, and that's for this event.
Yeah.
And instead of coming and practicing for 2 or 3 days, they go hire a guide.
Yeah.
But my biggest tip for those guys is don't hire the guy for his spot. You hire the guy to learn the technique that you think will be best for you. You're not guaranteed to get that spot if you're asking a guide for a spot.
Even the guides only have so many spots, and if they show everybody the same spots, that puts everybody on top of each other.
You just have to have an open mind and go fishing. Fish how you like to fish, and pay attention to what's going on around the lake. If you notice somebody hasn't went down this bank, or you notice somebody hasn't fished this point in a while, or you're running down the lake and nobody's on something, swing in and fish it. It's the best advice I can get you. You have to stay open-minded. There's going to be a ton of boats on the water. There will be people everywhere. It's the middle of May. There will be pontoons everywhere, white perch fishermen everywhere, and then everybody in the Sealy event. So people will be everywhere. You just have to go in it with an open mind and just go fishing.
Yes, and have a good time. Go there to have a good time. Also coming up, getting back to tournament-type fishing, ABA South Texas Open Series is coming up May the 28th. That's the end of this month, a couple of weeks. That'll be on Sam Rayburn. And so looking forward to see how many show up for that. Probably going to average, I'm going to say 75 to 80 will probably be in that particular event. And so fishing should continue to get better. If you haven't looked at any other series, check out the ABA, American Bass Anglers Association. It's a great circuit. Chris Wayan runs these tournaments, and there's 2 left on the Open Series. Both of them are at Rayburn. And then the championship will be in September on Lake Palestine. And look for new changes. Talking to Chris, he's not ready to announce anything publicly, but there are some major changes coming to 2022 with probably both the Pro Solo Tour, the Top 150 Solo Tour, as well as the ABA Open Series. Possibly a lot of really positive changes going to be taking place. It's something you definitely want to keep an open mind about fishing for 2022. And those schedules will be coming out fairly soon, probably in the next 2 or 3 months for this next year.
And also on May 22nd is the Average Joe tournament, the Outlaw Outdoors Average Joe tournament on Sam Rayburn. Steve, this is a pretty neat event. It's a very different tournament as far as who can enter, who qualifies. So the tournament, and this is coming from their flyer, is for the Average Joe fisherman. There are qualifications on who can fish. So if you have won more than $1,500 on Rayburn in this calendar year, 2021, then you do not qualify to enter.
Yeah.
Now, and that is a team, 1,500 a team. So, example here.
It means you've won 500 apiece. We're good.
We're good. But let's say I went with a partner in Bass Champs and we won $2,200.
Right.
Well, $1,100 of that is mine.
Right.
So you can't have won more than $400.
Okay.
To get
combined total. Yeah.
Yes. So if you have won more than $1,500 on Rayburn this calendar year, you are not eligible. So it's a great tournament for people who get all those people that has won all year long and has won several times. Derek Mundy going on down the line, they can't enter this thing.
Right. Exactly.
Matthew McArdle now, can I enter this thing?
All your big sticks won't be in
The
it.
ones that have won the tournaments all year, they're not eligible to fish it.
Yeah.
So it's a different type of tournament. I mean, it's a regular 5-fish tournament, but as far as who can enter, who can qualify for it, Clinton States do an awesome job running this circuit.
They do.
So if you have nothing going on May 22nd that weekend, you need to go check that out. You can check it out on their Facebook page or on their website, Outlaw Outdoors.
And real quick, again, just to give you one more little update on the Bassmaster Elite.
Where we at, Swindle?
Well, Swindle's still, the weights are still the same. West Logan's leading at 56.8. Paul Mueller 55.6, and Swindle with 53.13. But the fish are starting to bite. I'm noticing they're hooking up right now on quite a few fish. A midday bite going on, looks like, on Neely Henry. So again, check out Bassmaster.com. Go to my Bassmaster Live to see exactly what's going on. And again, it's starting to really heat up. And this is championship day for this event. This is the final day. So good luck to all those guys. And again, thank you guys for tuning us in. Kevin, we got anything else?
I think that's it for today.
We appreciate each and every one of you. Continue to share us. Continue to like us on our Facebook page. If you're interested in sponsorship, give us a call or send us a message on our Facebook page. Kevin will make sure he gets back to you and get you a packet so you can see exactly what we have to offer, and you can see what kind of audience you're actually appealing to. So, but that's about it. Hey, go out there, wet a hook this week.
Good luck to everybody fishing Sealy's this weekend.
Good luck to everybody. Bob Sealy does a great job with it, and thank you, Bob Sealy, for all the effort you put into all the Sealy events. So, and there'll be one more left. I think it'll be Lake Fork, Texas. That'll be coming up in September after this event. So, again, another opportunity to go out there, another Sealy event on a great body of water, Lake Fork, Texas. So, thank you for tuning us in. Thanks for watching today. If you want to continue to be a better angler, you got to watch Tackle Talk Live. Have a great week, y'all.